Washed Up Sports Podcast.
Washed Up Sports Podcast. The Washed Up Sports Podcast. What's going on?
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 What's going on? What's going on, guys?
We are now happy to be joined by Josh Whitlow of Redcup College Basketball. Josh, thanks for joining us today, man.
No problem. Happy to be here. What's good?
What's going on, man? So we're just going to jump right into the interview. Before we get into everything, for those who don't know what Redcup CBB is, could you tell us a little bit about your page and what you do?
Right. So basically, it's a page about covering college basketball. I do interviews, highlights, try to update the scores a lot, and really just combine every part of college basketball, which I love so much, into one place. And a lot of players are on there that interact with the posts, and they all talk back to the fans as well. So it's just kind of a place where everybody can talk about college basketball, and especially during the regular season as well.
Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about your background. This is the first time we're meeting, so just tell me a little bit about yourself and how you first got involved with Redcup.
Right. So I started a page when I was like 15, just kind of a hobby, something to do. I really liked college basketball, but nobody around me really followed the regular season. That was like my age or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they really just cared about the tournament. So I started it just kind of a way to meet other people that really liked it and just to kind of cover it as a hobby and show my love for the sport. And then it kind of started growing a little bit. I started figuring out the whole social media thing. And over the summer last year, 2 years ago now, but I started getting in contact with some players. They started following, and we just kind of kept building it up until I was about last February, actually. Redcup, the official page, reached out to me and wanted to bring me on as their guy to cover college basketball. And I've been with them for about a year now as part of their network, and it's just been really great. And that's basically how it started, though, just me being a fan and now working up. Now I write for a couple places as well. So just being more of a insider and analyst, and something that I want to pursue in the future as well.
Cool. Really cool stuff. So Redcup News Network is like the bigger thing, and you are
Right.
and you run their page within that.
Right. And a lot of the pages they already have, but this time it was weird. They reached out to me and they were like, you can keep your page full ownership and everything. Just be our college basketball guy. So I kind of slipped right in with them, and I really like what they're doing, and I think they have a bright future ahead, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I know. I'm a big college basketball guy myself, and I found the page throughout Instagram. And you guys are at like 22,000 followers. You guys have really taken off. And you mentioned, so you're followed by a lot of players, over 1,000 college basketball players following your page. How cool is it for you to have an outreach like that and to be communicating with, these Division I high major players and things like that? It must be really cool for you.
Right. It's been really cool. And at first, I didn't even think of that as a possibility, that players would really find my page or anything like that. That wasn't what I was trying to do. But shout out to, I don't know if you know who Javon Graves is, but he was at Buffalo.
No way.
He was their leading scorer.
I actually,
and he was the first guy, really.
I go to Buffalo, and we actually had Javon on the podcast like a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago,
Wow.
we had Javon on. Yeah, I'm a student at University of Buffalo. I'm originally from New Jersey, but yeah, I go there.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah. He was the first guy to follow my page, and he reached out. They were playing last season at, it was whatever preseason tournament it was, Battle for Atlantis or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you should make a post to highlight the Battle for Atlantis and feature Buffalo out here. He's like, I think we're going to really have a great season. And that ended up being the season that it was right after Buffalo had been ranked all year and all that. And so he was the first guy to reach out and got the whole Buffalo team following me, which of course that kind of sparked the whole chain reaction. So, and everybody else started following after that. But it was Javon Graves that first followed me and helped get all these other players following me down the road.
That's so cool. Yeah, Javon's the man. I'm in my second year at Buffalo, and pretty good program they got going there. I saw like you also like follow like Ronaldo Segu, who's got like a crazy Instagram following. He's got like over 150K and things like that. So yeah, no, it's really cool what you're doing, and you're getting to interact with all these people. Really cool thing for your page. So I see you guys are covering almost every game. I know I've been tuned.
Yeah.
And you guys are always posting scores, several posts a day. For you, is it college basketball all day, every day, or do you have a team of people you work with, or are you the only one really operating the page?
I'm really the only one operating that page. It's just a lot of people help out with it, and I've got people that will help do edits and stuff, but it's more about collabing, and I'm the only one that operates that page, and I'm totally cool with college basketball all day, every day.
Gotcha.
I follow it every day of the year.
Gotcha. So I saw some interviews you guys do on IG Live. You guys do some of those, and you have the player
Yes.
like will join the Instagram Live. The most recent one I saw the Justin Bean one, which you did right before the right before the tournament, and that was really awesome. I thought you did a really good job with that, and like I just the way you ask questions and stuff like that, it's really impressive, and you really like get these players to open up and stuff like that. For you, interviewing and having these like firsthand experiences with the players and getting to talk with these guys who are high major, going potentially, professionally, what's that like for you to be doing these like live streams and things like that?
Right. And to go back on like what you said earlier, to talk to all these high major guys and communicate with them. At first, I was like super blown away. Like, I can't believe this guy checked out the page or followers DMing. And I've kind of got used to it now. And every once in a while, I got to step back and be like, this is freaking awesome. Like,
right.
But to get these guys on the interviews, I started doing that last May during quarantine. I saw one of my boys that runs a page. He works with San Diego State. He did one, and I was like, that's really cool. I should try doing that. At first, I didn't really want to be on the IG Live, and I was a little nervous, definitely nervous at first, but I did it with the first ever live one I did was with Deshaun Burke from Nebraska, and he was a super humble, down-to-earth guy, and I think because that one went so well, I was able to reach out to a lot more guys and just not be afraid of going on live or anything. And once I did the first one, I was kind of hooked. I was like, that's super cool. A lot more people watched it than I thought would. And a lot of these dudes followed me a lot. So I only really reach out to guys that follow me, but it's been easier to get them now that they see that these guys are doing them and that I ask good questions, and it makes them look, usually it doesn't make the players look bad or anything. So they're more willing to do it than you would expect. I've only gotten a couple no's, and it's just been really cool to talk to these guys on the live. And oftentimes they're a lot more willing to open up and humble and just really genuine. They're genuine people at the end of the day. They're not, some people look at them as superstars, but if you talk to them like regular people, I think they enjoy that the most, and they'll be willing to give good answers. So it's been really fantastic and something I definitely want to keep doing as well.
Totally, man. Yeah. I feel like sometimes people think that like when you're talking to these people, and at the end of the day, these kids are just college kids. They put they put their pants on in the morning the same way that you do, the way that I do. So it's like, I think they like definitely appreciate when you step back and just treat them like normal people. Absolutely. And yeah, when it came to like talking on the Instagram Live and stuff, we started the podcast back in the quarantine as well towards the end of 2020. And it's totally one of those things where we felt, at least like the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with public speaking and talking to people.
Especially these athletes. Like I used to get nervous. Now I don't really get nervous anymore. And it's been a lot of these guys I've talked to multiple times throughout the year. And when we hop on live, it kind of clicks, especially with Justin Bean. I've known him for like a year and a half now, and he's genuinely great dude. Really enjoyed that one. And I was happy that I was able to do it at some point before he left Utah State. But yeah, once you do it more, you kind of get used to it, and it becomes part of your normal thing. So that's awesome that you guys have started doing it too. I'm glad that you guys like it as well. That's awesome.
Great, man. So obviously right now, probably one of the biggest times of the year for you with March Madness. Final Four is coming up this coming next week. So what has impressed you so far this tournament in terms of like teams and basketball? Of course, the fan in you, I'm sure, has some stuff, some insight to give. So what have you liked so far this tournament?
Well, for sure, obviously Oral Roberts has been my favorite story. And I obviously wasn't going to pick him against Ohio State because you don't pick a 15, but they had the leading scorer in the entire country coming into the tournament, and he was able to carry him, Max Asmus, through the first two games. So really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the total amount of upsets we had. We had a crazy amount of upsets in the first couple of days. Abilene Christian totally busted my bracket by beating Texas. I really liked Texas and I picked them to win the Natty, but
oh wow,
I don't know. I was really high on them. I liked the eye test. I liked how they were built. but just stuff like that can happen. And I mean, Abilene Christian's in-state school. Those guys wanted to go to Texas. They were overlooked, and they got their chance to beat them, and they did. But I also really like that now we're in the Final Four, getting to the Final Four, and as crazy as these upsets have been, I still think it's been the best teams that have kind of risen to the top, and it's going to set up for a really good Final Four.
Gotcha. Yeah, no doubt. I think it's going to be a crazy Final Four. In terms of like rooting interest in a regular season, what team do you root for personally?
Right. So I was raised a UVA fan. Both my parents went to Virginia.
Okay.
And I've been a UVA guy, but I also I'm a freshman at Coastal Carolina.
Oh, nice.
So I really followed them a lot this year as well.
Cool, yeah. No, Buffalo actually got a transfer from Coastal Carolina, Keyshawn Bruin.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's over at Buffalo now. So I know a little bit about like the program they had over there. That's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And any team that I've done interviews with players, the whole team will follow me. I always root for those guys, always.
No doubt.
So,
yeah, that's so cool.
Especially Buffalo. I'm a huge Buffalo guy now.
Let's go. Love to see it. Got to represent the MAC. And then Ohio also in the MAC got the best of your Cavaliers this year.
Did.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And actually, Jason Preston, he follows me, talks to me. I've talked to him before. Super great kid. And I was not surprised at all. And I was very worried about that game. But at the end of the day, I was prepared for that loss. And, you know, being a Virginia fan, I'm used to that. So
yeah, a lot of upsets have come to Virginia as of late, but at least you guys got that national championship.
Right. And first round exit, that means we'll win the national championship next year.
That's what I like to hear.
That's how it works.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Especially with like at the end of the year with COVID and everything for Virginia, it was like the tournament kind of came at a bad time for them if it had to come at any time.
Right. And this team, I don't know, it just on paper, I was really excited. I was like, this could be the best Virginia team I've ever seen because they could actually score. And the defense wasn't quite where it usually is, but it just never fully clicked to the potential that they could have had.
Right.
And Preston and the guy Vanderplas
Ben Vanderplas
really surprised me. He killed it. He carried that team to that win.
Yeah, good shooter with size, inside presence. Like he does it all.
Yeah, he's a beast. And that was something I like Ohio, so I wasn't really too upset. And following the whole country and everything, it makes it easier to be a Virginia fan when I run this page. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. I got you with that. Yeah, we already have Houston and Baylor booking their tickets, and then as of tonight will be the other two Elite Eight games.
Right.
And I know Houston was the first team that punched their ticket. I'm originally from New Jersey, big Rutgers fan who made it first time in 30 years. So it was tough to that 3-point loss against Houston, that comeback. But that was a heartbreaker for me. And then like for Rutgers, they were gonna get Syracuse and then Oregon State. That's like not that bad of a path. I was liking their chances, but obviously tough one.
Right, and I don't know. Quentin Grimes just caught fire down that game.
Yeah,
and I actually really thought Rutgers was going to pull that out with like 8 or 9 minutes left. And then Houston showed how good they truly were and pulled it out.
Yeah. So hopefully better days ahead for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. But
for sure. Especially if you can keep Ron Harper there next year. I think you guys will be fine.
Yeah, definitely. They need to keep Ron there. Hopefully they can get him for one more year before he goes to the league. So who do you have winning it all right now? You think Gonzaga with the perfect season or?
I have to go Gonzaga. They're the best team that I've seen since that Kentucky team in 14-15, and I really don't see how they can lose unless it's to Baylor.
Right.
And we got that game, and we were supposed to get Baylor-Gonzaga earlier this year, and then COVID canceled it, so I would not complain at all if we get to see that one.
No doubt, man. Yeah, so obviously crazy time for college basketball, and the sport is growing as a whole, and tonight we're going to get Gonzaga against
USC.
So we get Gonzaga, USC, and then UCLA against Michigan. And out of those two games, so you said you like Gonzaga winning that. Let me talk about UCLA, Michigan a little bit with you tonight. So UCLA, obviously one of the play-in teams as an 11 seed. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people saw them making the Elite Eight. What do you like about that team?
I like the guards, and what's his name? Tiger Campbell has been fantastic. They've been super hot. They've faced adversity multiple times, except really against BYU. They kind of blew them out, but they really impressed me in that last game against Bama. They were down by a lot, and then they took the lead by like 10 points. ended up giving it up to that buzzer beater at the end of the game. And then in overtime was still able to handily beat them. They kind of dominated them in overtime. And that's actually why I liked them tonight to beat Michigan.
Wow. So you got them punching their ticket into the Final Four.
I think Michigan's been around a little too long without Livers, and they haven't really been tested. I thought LSU would have given them a bigger test, and they kind of hung with them for a little bit. But I think this UCLA team, with how hot they've been, and with Juzang, as long as he plays like he's been playing, I think they're actually going to pull this upset, and we're going to have an 11 in the Final Four again.
Yeah, no doubt. I didn't get to watch like the most Pac-12 basketball this year.
Neither did I.
Yeah, so I had and now to see that two of their teams are in the Elite Eight, I wouldn't. And then Oregon State was in the Elite Eight too. I did not see that coming. So to see them, and now I was so hopeful going into the season about Arizona State with Josh Christopher, and then Remy Martin, and then what a letdown there with their season. So for the Pac-12 to be lighting it up in the tournament, I really did not see this coming.
Right, and that Arizona State team was a team that I really just thought at some point during the season was going to figure it out. And when they were going into the Pac-12 tournament, I really thought they were going to win the Pac-12 tournament, just because I was like, Remy Martin's not going to let this be the way he goes out. And they just never really pulled it together. And honestly, they were one of the most disappointing teams that I think I've seen recently. But yeah, the Pac-12 was obviously stronger than we gave it credit for sure.
No doubt. Yeah, the Mobley brothers are just a force to be reckoned with at this point, and it's they're just taking matters into their own hands.
I think they'll give Gonzaga everything they want tonight too. I don't think Gonzaga blows them out at all.
Gotcha. So you have what do we say? Single digits, or you think still double digits?
I think 8 or 9 points. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But maybe it's one of those where, I don't know, it's a 2-point game with a minute left, and then Gonzaga will score and they have to foul them a couple times. So I think it's that kind of 8-9 point, not the whole game.
Gotcha.
I think it'll be close.
Gotcha. Last question I have for you, something that I've debated with a lot of people. Do we think that in college basketball it is a Power 5 or a Power 6? Does Big East, do you count that as a power? Some people like to say Power 6, those Seton Hall fans and all them. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I'm Power 6.
He's Power 6.
Power 6, definitely.
He's Power 6.
Think just with the way that, and now that you add UConn back into there,
right.
I think it's definitely Power 6. Most years I think it's better than the Pac-12. I thought that this year too, but obviously not by the tournament. But I would say Power 6 definitely.
I agree with that. I know what you mean. It's just, for me, it's tough because when I think of Power 5, I think about it with basketball and football. But I think if we're talking about it from a straight basketball standpoint, you have to kind of include the Big East because their teams are too good to go unrecognized. Right,
and even for football, the Pac-12 had a bad year, and you had 2 Sun Belt teams ranked higher than the best team in the Pac-12. So
exactly.
Pac-12 slipping a little bit.
Exactly.
And I think definitely for basketball, Power 6 set it in stone. And some years, the Americans right up there with them as well.
True. A lot of good teams coming out of there always. Power 6, you heard it there, everyone. Josh, it was really great getting to know you today. I look forward to continuing to see your page, and I wish you best of luck, man. You're killing it.
Yo, Josh.
Thank you.
What's good, man?
This is my co-host.
Just one question before we wrap up. I'm not the biggest college basketball guy, so I kind of just pick my bracket willy-nilly. Can you tell me what the fuck happened to Ohio State? They crushed my soul. I had them winning the entire tournament.
Listen, man, they had Oral Roberts had the leading scorer in the country. That's what happened. And when you have the leading scorer, you can lose any game. He can carry him. That's what happened.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
I feel like people should have known better than to just completely count out that team. I feel like I did not even give them a chance, you know?
I mean, I put it when Oral Roberts won the tournament, their conference tournament, I posted with it. I was keep in mind that they have the leading scorer in all of Division I. So anytime you have that, you can win a game or two.
There was this big thing on Twitter where Oral Roberts basketball wasn't verified, and they finally got verified.
Yeah. That was awesome to see.
No doubt, man. All right, Josh, listen, I'll let you go, but it was great getting to talk to you, man. I appreciate you coming on our podcast. It really means a lot, bro.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Peace out.
Peace out, dog.
Good talking to you.